we can start off by just talking about how you got interested in music criticism. Was it something that came about as a hobby, and then that developed into part of your portfolio, or?
Yes, I mean, I think so, really. Essentially, what happened in terms of writing about it was more by happenstance than anything else, in that 2007, I think, Easter, I went to Berlin, and it was a sort of once in a lifetime sort of thing, or so I thought. Well, I guess it was once in a lifetime thing that I went to hear over Easter. Daniel Barenboim and Pierre Boulez conduct all of the Mahler symphonies in about a fortnight. And I just booked to go, and spent more money than was wise in my life, and so on.
Was that a musical holiday?
Yes, yes, essentially. And I was seeing friends, but I was doing that most of the evenings, was sort of 10 evenings out of 14 or something. And I just sort of kept a little diary of these things, and I wrote it down, and I didn't really have any intention of doing anything more with it. But when I got home, I just thought, well, I'd send this to a few friends who might be interested, just as my, and didn't think of doing anything more until one of them suggested that maybe I might put this online and as a blog. I mean, at the time, actually, I didn't even know what a blog was.
Yeah, and I guess blogging was still pretty new then, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I really had no idea what I was doing, but I just set this up with. The instructions must have been relatively easy, because even I managed to do it, and I'm not great with computers at all. And did that and didn't think anything much more of it. Another friend had a look, and she was actually involved with a website that did some concert reviewing, and she suggested that I might write for them, and it really just took off gradually from that. So mostly writing about performances I went to, with a few other things, and it just took on a life of its own. It's not something I've ever really done for money or anything else, and frankly there isn't much money in it, but nor have I particularly wanted to. I mean, it's not, I'm not a journalist by training, I'm not, that's not what I do. But what has happened is that it's also begun to inform my academic work as well, in ways that I could never have expected, and the other way round. So it's been quite surprising, but fun on the whole, and frankly also it means that I often, not always, but often will get press tickets for certain things, and it means that I can go to performances which otherwise, frankly, I simply wouldn't be able to afford to, apart from anything else.
Yeah. So did the blog initially start off as a private journal, and then you made it public, or did you send the reviews to your friends?
I think it was
email.
I think it was probably always public, partly because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I suppose I had no objection to anybody reading it who did, and I'm sure when it started it, frankly, probably wasn't anybody I didn't know to start with anyway, because it would have. But no, it's always been public, and some people read it. 99.99% of the world or more won't, and it is what it is. And if people are interested, that's great. But I've never, as it were, tried to write in order to increase readership, or to make it particularly something one would want to do. I've taken the attitude, and I hope it doesn't sound too arrogant, but it's just, this is what I'm doing. If it's of interest to you, that's great. If not, as it won't be in most cases, then, well, that's fine. There are plenty of other things on the internet to waste your time on. Go and have a look at the Guardian website for 3/4 of an hour or something instead.
Well, it certainly seems to have been of real interest in the industry. I mean, your blog's been going for 11 years now, over 2 million hits. I mean, did you honestly think it was going to be this successful?
No.
Did you intend it to be a source for audiences to refer to?
No, not at all. As I said, I really had no expectations. When I started it, it was just really a semi-permanent or permanent place to put some stuff that I had written, and I had no more expectations from that. I mean, when these numbers come and go, I mean, as you say, sort of 2 million. I think it's almost 2.5 now. I mean, Now, clearly, a lot of those, there will be quite a few of those that are not people visiting for whatever reason and so on. But I'm sure it can't be all of those. And I know people tend to say they feel humble when they feel anything else. It's a way of boasting rather than saying, "Oh, I'm terribly humbled by this." It's what you do when you receive an Oscar or something. But it is genuinely humbling and, frankly, in a way, rather baffling. As well, it's quite difficult to get one's head round that sort of numbers. I mean, obviously, per post, then it splits into something rather less, but it's still quite an extraordinary thing. And I think of it really as my diary of mostly of performances I go to and some other pieces, and it's very useful for me to refer back to. And I find sometimes that in my academic work I'll go back to something I've written and find an idea from it that I'll then develop in another way. But I also know that it's of use, to some extent, to performers, to audiences and so on. I mean, probably more so to performers if I'm nice or at least sort of complimentary. But it's a difficult business because one has to be honest, but by the same token, one knows that these things are not absolute, and in most cases there will be somebody else writing about a performance as well. I mean, I take the attitude that there are sort of different levels of this. Clearly, one doesn't write in quite the same way, say, about a student performance as one does about a festival performance in Salzburg or Bayreuth.
Yes.
And but also one doesn't go to those events in the same sort of way. I mean, increasingly, I often find that actually the former are more enjoyable. In many ways, they're more committed. I'll go to a conservatoire performance of the Marriage of Figaro and often get more out of it, frankly, than a run-of-the-mill Vienna State Opera sort of on a wet Wednesday afternoon performance.
And I guess it's because, these youngsters as well, it's the first time that they're exploring this music, so they come at it with fresh eyes, don't they? And so there's this real kind of exuberance that comes across, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes. And frankly, they also often perform in more suitable theatres. If one's talking about opera, it'll be a smaller place rather than some vast barn like the Met or wherever. So you can see their faces, you see the interaction. It's a much more immediate experience in that sort of way. But I think there may have been exceptions, and if there are, I should probably be ashamed of myself, or at least think in terms of the future that's not something I do. But I'd hope that for the most part, if these are amateur performances or, say, students at the beginning of their career, then I hope I would never be unduly harsh. I mean, if something really I thought was not very good in that sense, a particular performance, I'd probably just not write about it. Whereas, when it's something that the public's paying large sums of money for, then actually it's just a very different sort of situation. And I suppose I also know that reviews to musicians at the beginning of their careers can actually be genuinely useful